I'm going to share 3 different things I wish I'd thought about before I purchased my 1990 Mazda Miata. Now this is going to apply to all first generation, so all NA Mazda Miatas. Let's get right into it. One of the absolute first things you need to think about before buying a Miata is the amount of space that this car has. It is small. And you know it's small before getting one, but you don't really realize just how little you can actually fit in this thing until you've been driving it for a while. Inside the car, you do have storage under the dash right here, which you can lock. You also have storage in the armrest. However, there's not a whole lot. Behind the passenger seat, you also get this little spot where you can put some things. Apparently, I have a adjustable wrench in there right now for some reason. You also get an okay amount of trunk space. Personally, I don't think it's that bad, especially compared to the NB Miatas, which are absolutely terrible. But you can fit quite a bit in here. I've actually done guitar gigs where I've had an acoustic and an electric guitar back here, and then over in the front, I actually just took my amp and buckled it in. I mean, not ideal, but it worked. Also, you do get this rack on the back. A lot of trunks have it, but I've actually put quite a bit of stuff up here before, and again, it works. It's just like only if necessary sort of thing, because it really takes a toll on your aerodynamics. Because now with the air rolling off the back here is just getting slamming straight into a brick wall if you got like a suitcase or a bag or something up here. You really have to consider exactly what you want to use this car for, because you cannot take friends anywhere. You can't pick up loads of stuff. I've done grocery shopping in it before. It's fine. Like, you can fit enough in the back. But like, you really have to think about it. Do you do things that require you to carry loads of stuff around? Do you want to go camping? Do you want to go on road trips? You can't really do that in a Miata. I've seen people do crazy stuff, like even put on like roof racks, which is just, I mean, cool, but kind of defeats the purpose of a Miata. The next thing you're going to have to think about is the amount of work that you may have to put into this car. Do you really know what you're doing with an engine? Now, don't get me wrong, Miatas are great cars to learn on. Everything is right out here in the open, and it's all super simple. It's basically a giant Lego set. I knew very little about cars when I first got it, but now, I mean, I would say I'm competent. This car is about 33 years old, so of course stuff is going to fail. People replace things, but, you know, gaskets, covers, all sorts of things are going to go over time. So I guess the question is, are you prepared to put work, time, and money into the car? Because you're definitely going to have to. Things are going to fail. Now, Miatas are extremely hardy cars. They can pretty much put up with anything you throw at them, but at the same time, like I said, they're old. There are going to be issues. I have to replace this radiator really soon because it's been leaking, which isn't something really hard to do, but I've never done it before. So the last thing you need to be thinking about is the kind of climate that you're going to be driving this thing in. So I actually bought this car in November last year, which caused a lot of problems because immediately I had to deal with snow and harsh weather conditions, especially up in Canada, where it wasn't really all that fun. Miatas are rear-wheel drive cars. They're super light, and they just, in general, get like no traction in snow. So if your roads are icy, extremely wet, you better have good tires. And even then, they just don't do very well. There was actually a couple times when it was snowy where I actually almost went off the road. Not because I wasn't driving carefully, but just because I was so new to the car that it sort of moved unpredictably and just sort of flew around everywhere when I hit like unstable ground and when there was snow on the road. So you really have to think about the climate that you're going to be driving this thing in, because it's really not that good unless you're on dry roads. So I have another video on my channel talking about how I got this hardtop basically for free. But most Miatas that you're going to find do not have hardtops, and if they do, they're definitely not matching in color. So if you can see back here, the soft top actually just folds down right underneath the hardtop here. So when I first got the car, it just had the soft top. Now this is also problematic because when soft tops get old, they crack, they rip, they tear, they get all gross, they look bad. It sucks, right? So when you're driving in the winter or heavy rains, just be prepared. This car is going to get freezing cold inside. You're going to have to step in with a heated jacket and basically wear gloves to even touch the shift knob, especially if you have a metal one. So I really urge you, before you even consider buying a Miata, really think about the practical aspects of owning this car, because it really can be tough sometimes. For example, this is a 1.6, so when I'm on the road and I need to be going highway speeds, I can't really do 100 kilometers per hour at like a decent RPM. It's always going to be like 4,000 or above, which is not great for gas mileage. So that's not fun. These are some things you really need to consider before buying a Miata. Now, I'm not sure if you want to daily this car or not. I personally do daily the Miata, but Cashed Out Cars has a really good video just going over some points and some reasons why maybe you should and shouldn't daily a Mazda Miata. So I'll link that in the comments below. However, because it can do this, everything I've said so far has been completely invalid. If you guys are still watching, I just wanted to say thank you. I recently hit 500 views on this channel, which is quite a lot of people. So, like, just imagine 500 people in one room, right? That's insane. So, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.